All right, I want to address this notion about the SEC supposedly being the most dominant conference in college football. And look, that's not the case. And maybe this is a matter of semantics. So I'm going to define what I think is dominance. When I think of the term dominance, I would think that the SEC would be blowing teams out in the playoffs, that we look at the game and be like, oh, there's no way that those athletes on that team compete with those athletes on that other non-SEC team. And of course, they'd be winning and going to the championship game, and they'd have two representatives in the national championship game, assuming that the SEC was on the opposite side of the bracket of the other SEC team. And that's not what you're seeing here. Even before the 12-team playoff, you had Michigan versus Washington when Washington was in the Pac-12. And Michigan had beat Alabama to get into the national championship game. And Nick Saban coached Alabama team. Last couple of years, SEC had 3 teams last year, 5 teams this year in the playoffs. Not one of them advanced to the national championship game. You look at Big Ten versus SEC, 3-0. Ohio State beat the SEC twice. And Indiana beat the SEC once this year. And it wasn't just a win. It wasn't a close game. It was a blowout, 38-3. I know because I was at the Rose Bowl, Indiana against Alabama. And Ohio State blew out Tennessee last year. So that was a dominant win. That was dominance. If you have to pick between the Big Ten and the SEC, I would say the Big Ten's dominant over the SEC. And then the SEC, they had a win against the ACC last year. And then Miami beat the SEC twice this year, Texas A&M and Ole Miss. So look, the SEC is not this dominant conference that they're making it out to be. That's a myth. Maybe that was true in the past. Maybe they're overrated. Who knows? But when we look at the reality under this current 12-team format and the playoffs before this, the SEC team is not this dominant team that they're making it out to be.